All right, I think I'm live. I'm not even sure. So, if anyone's in the room, leave a comment so I can know that you guys could hear me, that you guys could see me. We do have phone lines. We can open up the phone lines. Just we'll see how the chat goes. But where do I start, man? Let's get a little music rolling. Let me see. Let's get a little something going. Go to my YouTube channel. I'll let you guys see what it looks like. This is my YouTube channel, my YouTube page. You can see some of the people I'm subscribed to. And I do like a lot of Young Dolph, a little bit of rap. So, yeah. All right, so let's put on some music. Let me check out the playlist. Go to my library. I know I got a library called Jams. Let me put it over here. I don't want to get copywritten. Where's that playlist? Show more. There we go. C'est vrai. Don't hit me, YouTube. So, all right. Love this song. I better stop the music because I know YouTube does like to strike people. So we're gonna stop the music there, and I want to talk about this this article that I just posted. The story comes from Rizzo Northwest, and if you read what I wrote about it, I said that Rizzo Northwest they're a group I trust their news. Like they've never steered me wrong. Um, it's not biased. I mean, I preferred them when they were a little bit more biased, but they're very it's a really good, I mean, really upcoming news agency. But that's where the story comes from. It comes from Wizzo Northwest. Let me open it up on the Sentinel, and oh wow, already 40 shares. Man, it's getting some traffic. getting some traction. Uh, yeah, let me go to their website. So this is their website. This is where the story comes from. And I do want to take a minute to talk about, just the fact that, publication like this even exists. Because a decade ago, you weren't really getting Haitian news in this fashion. Like you'd have to only go to like Le Nouveliste website, and even then, like Le Nouveliste would like post an article to their website like once a week. Like I mean, real like maybe 10 articles per week. They still had their newspaper coming out daily or whatnot, but Le Nouveliste didn't publish like every day on their website. This was like a decade ago when I first started. So to have, Rizzo Nordwest, you have Vont Beth Info, a bunch of these sites that sprung up. It's really a beautiful thing, man, and I love to see it happen because we get different voices, we get more info, more content, more things coming out of the Haiti, and I like to feel like I had something to do. I mean, it would have happened anyways, but I know for sure that when we started with Defend Haiti, like a lot of people started with their Facebook pages back then, and then that led to them getting their websites, and it's just been flourishing since then. Beautiful thing. So the story comes from Wizzo Nordwest, and we could go back to the English version, but basically, it's a former minister of Haitians living abroad that said it. Um, that said this, and I do have a few problems with what was reported because while he says, that's what the president said, you don't tell us under what circumstances did Jovenel Moise say that he was going to resign. Like, who did he tell that to? Where is this buzz? Like, who did you hear it from? Did he say it to you? Like, we don't get any of that. We don't get any of that from this article. He's just saying that hey, he's announced this intention. Perhaps it's to the U.S. embassy. Cause notice the the quote from Pierre Riche is President Jovenel Moise no longer has the support of the United States and has already announced his intention to resign. So it seems like, that's code word for the United States decides who's going to be president in Haiti and who's not, and whether you're going to stay and whether you're not. It's not even your decision, So um, I'm enjoying some tea. So perhaps it's, he was speaking to the U.S. ambassador. That's what he said. So that would be the only reason why I would see that they wouldn't actually explain in what circumstances that Jovenel Moise would have announced this, because they wouldn't want it to be like on Front Street like that. That hey, you know, yeah, the U.S. is calling shots. They really don't want that. They want it, but they don't want it. And I think, Haitians, we got to play smart. We got to play smart because they, the U.S. is calling shots in Haiti. We see it, but they want to do it on a low low. And there's a way that can be played, like because They want to do it on the low because they don't want the rest of the world to know that's how they get down. And as well as something goes bad, they don't want to be feel they don't want people to look at them as they're responsible for it. You broke it, now you got to fix it. To me, I'm like, yo, if they want to act like they run the show, let's make it real clear. Let's make it very clear. And I think they would rather want Haiti to appear sovereign than as a, I guess, a protectorate of the U.S. So that's what this guy Pierre says. He says Jovenel has announced his intention to resign. Now, and I say at the bottom of my article, I give some of my views. I said, I mean, it's it's part of the Duvalierist culture, the mentality that's in Haiti. So listen to this. Every time people let me put the title up here so people know what we're talking about at this moment. Listen to this. You're gonna always hear people talk about, oh, things just got bad after 1986. Oh, this is what we've been dealing with since 1986. Since the end of the dictatorship, things just got bad. You are gonna hear that ad nauseum, and Haitians, we've been saying it for a long time. We've been hearing it for a long time, and some people actually believe it. But it's not the truth. It's not the truth. Things didn't just get bad after 1986. And what we are experiencing today is a result of the dictatorship. Things started to get bad in the 50s when the dictatorship started. Actually, around the time of the start of the dictatorship. So right before Duvalier, and then it just continued to get bad with Duvalier. And everything we're experiencing now is the result of it. Because Haitians, we've never really, after the dictatorship, we never really stopped and did an autopsy. And did an autopsy. Rather, it was, okay, we accepted it as just one political theory, one political group against another political group. It was that kind of a change of power. It was Duvalier, and then it was Aristide. Like that's the way it's been looked at. We didn't really take a serious autopsy and look at what the dictatorship was, what brought it into it. It's kind of like this Russiagate, because the Democrats don't want to look and see that, hey, Hillary was a problem. Uh, the Democrats are a problem, and they might lose again. Um, and they didn't want to look at that, so they blamed it on Russia. And in the case of Haiti, you know, I guess perhaps some didn't want to actually look at the idea of a dictatorship. They didn't want to look at the reality that the world stood by, the United States, only a few hundred miles away, stood by while a brutal dictatorship reigned, and they clearly accepted it, approved of it, had diplomatic relationships with it, and that's what was going on. So they don't want to look at that. So there was never a real accounting for what that was for us. We just moved on. New governments, new powers, and everybody since has tried to copy that same that model of trying to stay in power by any means for as long as their power can. Everyone that goes into Haitian politics, everyone that becomes president in Haiti, their goal is to be president for life. That's their goal. I think maybe with Preval, not so much, but still, he used those same tactics as far as, not organizing elections so that he could consolidate his power. That's something very popular with what they will do. Martelli tried to do it. Aristide even tried to do it. Yep. So 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 when they tell me that Jovenel might resign, I'm like I'm skeptical, but then again, things have been changing very much. So things have been changing in the past decade. I mean, I just explained to you how we have these new websites now, news sites. So there's more news out there. It's not just Le Nouveliste, Le Nouveliste is for the bourgeois, is for the establishment. We have uh, democratized news information in Haiti these days, and that's something different. Um, yeah, and that causes something different. It's brought about, and I like to take credit for what I've been able to do and the way I've been able to cover Haitian news, but it's brought about a lot of accountability in Haitian government. Like now we see an actual president possibly being impeached. Listen, at least since the 50s, so we're talking 70 years, that the concept, the idea that something like that could happen never crossed the Haitian people's minds. And it may have, there are people that might know it exists, but it's not like a real reality. It's not something that's like, hey, we ought to do. It's not something that I don't know exactly how to say it, but it just wasn't something that we ever thought we could go to, but it happened this year. There was literally a hearing in the Chamber of Deputies on the topic of impeaching a president, a sitting president. Now, it was a corrupt situation. We all know how that ended, and I'm not going to go into it now, but it happened. And that's a big, big, big change. That's something that's going to wake up for all the young Haitians growing up, all the young Zoes. And they know that happened. They're going to have a different approach now in the future than what we have and what our parents who lived under Duvalier for real have. They're going to have a different view of things. And that's a beautiful thing. So I'm not inclined to believe that Moise will resign at all. But then again, things are changing. Things are changing, and he is in a tight spot. I think he is in a worse situation than Jean Claude was, Jean Claude Duvalier. Because understand, Jean Claude Duvalier, where it really came down was with the economy. He listened to USAID. He and his father, they were already bringing people out of the fields, off of their farms, and they were going with this foreign direct investment model of building an economy where foreign companies like Coca-Cola, and I keep bringing up Coca-Cola, and that's no diss to Coca-Cola, okay? That's no diss to Coca-Cola. I only bring them up because I know personally in my family that's what caused us to migrate from Fort Liberté into Port-au-Prince for the job there for my aunt. Uh, she after school and she went to go work for that company. So that's the only reason why I bring Coca Cola. But there was plenty of other companies. There was the the company that makes baseballs. There was companies that do a bunch of different things that were brought into Haiti and you know sweatshops. I'm pretty sure the conditions were a lot better. Understand that in the 50s, people still kind of try to protect the worker. I mean, not like as much, because unions did help with that, but like to a certain degree, like, you weren't just gonna, go for broke on dollars and not really care about the workforce, especially in this hemisphere, you know. Um, we didn't really have big trade in China at the time, so people are gonna have businesses in Haiti that are kind of not better in those days than they are today, you know. But yeah, so yeah, so the economy is what really, really, really brought things to a head for Duvalier, and people were getting squeezed. The violence, Haitians took that. Haitians took the abuse. Haitians took that. But when they hear his wife is running around with such and such $1 million, they having parties like this, and meanwhile their situation is getting worse. There was a gas shortage back in the late 70s, and I think late 70s and the early 80s. It might have even played a role in why Jimmy Carter only had one term. All that had an effect. And right now, Jovenel is dealing with an economic issue, unlike like like I've explained in the previous videos. It's not going to be solved. It's only going to get worse. It's going to get to the point where there is none in the country, and if there is some, it's going to be sold at such a high price. You're talking $30 a gallon. Expect that. I remember when I was writing so much back, about 5, 6, 7 years ago. I was writing so much. I was telling people, look, the Haitian good to the U.S. dollar, I think was in about 20 something, 20 to 1 under Pueval. I started in 2009 October, and then it kind of ticked up after the earthquake, and it had gotten to 40 good for $1. But then when I started watching how Martelli was doing things, I was like, yo, let me keep an eye on this. And then it started to tick up. It got to 60. And, I was rapport. I was like, yo, this isn't good. It can get worse. I'll be honest. I didn't think it would get to 100. I didn't think it would get to 100. No, no, I just didn't. I thought maybe it would cap at like about 80, and that would be extremely bad, and that would cause a revolution. But to get to 100, they're doing a bunch of, like a bunch of rigging and stuff to kind of, let the country float along. And it's, but yeah, things should have really collapsed pretty bad. I mean, it's already had so after that. So that's how bad it's about to get in terms of gas. So Jovenel can the U.S. can save Jovenel's neck if they can give him what he had with Petrocaribe, and I don't think they can, and I don't think they want to, and I don't think they're no. That's not how the U.S. gets down. As well, the U.S. doesn't produce as a government doesn't do that. It's private business that handles it. the Venezuelan government has a major stake in their oil producing, so they can actually make those kind of moves. Okay, so can Jovenel go to Nicolas Maduro, the president of Venezuela, and ask to be back into Petrocaribe? I I think he can, like in terms of he can physically, take the flight over there and do that. But I don't think Maduro is accepting Haiti back with him as president. Like, why would you even take that slap in the face? And especially, with all the news about Tet Kale and how they did with the Petrocaribe money, why would he even do that? And on top of that, twice, twice in the Organization of American States, Jovenel had Haiti say that Maduro is not the legitimate. So how is he going to be able to go down there and has to be let into Petrocaribe? That's the only way. But he can't do that. He's going to have to resign, and somebody else is going to have to come and go down there and ask to be back into Petrocaribe. That's the way forward. Because really, anybody come in there and try not to and doesn't do make that move, they're gonna find themselves in a real because people not gonna pay the heightened price. Things were getting bad anyway. Petrocaribe came at a perfect time when inflation was causing a lot. It came at a perfect time. People not gonna be able to eat that, yo. It's just not gonna happen. So and they're probably gonna try to be slick and where he would resign and then they put like another puppet in there, you know, and they put another puppet in there, but I just don't. And that puppet is supposed to get Haiti into Petrocaribe, but he's still gonna be a little flaky. With Venezuela, gonna be flaky with the people. I mean, they'll probably go that route, but that's really the issue right now. That's really the issue right now, you know, because the U.S. ain't gonna put up that money, whether in loans or not. Haiti, U.S. ain't putting up no $600 million a year to give to Haiti. They like to earmark stuff, like say, okay, this money's for this money's for that. But actually put it in the Haitian government hands. Heck no. Who, the U.S.? Nah, that's not gonna happen. So yeah, so that's that, man. We're getting into 30 minutes of that. I actually want to get into some other topics. The next topic, why Clef for the president? I want to talk about that. I do, and and y'all gonna listen because nobody else is in the chat. So no one else is in the chat, so I'm gonna talk about it. And unless you guys want to call in and unless you guys want to call in and get me off track when it comes to that. Did I leave the article? Google Ad Services. What the heck does that mean? So, let me see. I'm actually looking for the article right now. Wycliffe, try again. I published it. Ah, there it is. Boom. Oh yeah, we getting into this. We getting into this. So here's another joint right here regarding Wycliffe. He wants to run for president. A lot of people seem to not be feeling it. Like every time I publish something mentioning it, people are really not feeling Wyclef running for president, and they bring up Yele Haiti. They say, "Oh, he stole the money with Yele Haiti. Now we can't do Wyclef. Wyclef is canceled." Um, they bring up Martelli because Martelli was a musician, and Martelli obviously you see how that ended up. What else do they not like? He's not that smart, and he does come off, a little dim with it, if I could use that term. So, yeah, a lot of people don't like the idea of Wyclef. I'm uh, I'm in the minority when it comes to that. I'm in the minority. I think he has a chance to do good because of what he brings to the table. You know, um, I don't think we have the same risk with him as we do with other potential candidates. Um, like, let me say, like for example, I don't think Wycliffe is really into corruption like that. Like people like to talk about the Yele Haiti thing, but that was mismanagement. That wasn't corruption. That was, and it was very equivalent to what the Red Cross was doing. It's like, and I would even, and no, not even venture to say, I'm saying that the Red Cross and the Clinton Foundation were doing a lot worse. But but Sean Penn was doing the thing though. Sean Penn's organization was actually making things happen. So it wasn't doing as good as Sean Penn's organization, JPHRO, but it wasn't doing as bad as the Clinton Foundation and the Red Cross in Haiti. It was mismanagement. It was bad mismanagement. I think Wyclef, he came down there. He put his own hours. He put his own blood and sweat and tears into into helping after the earthquake, into helping after the hurricanes in 2008. He brought celebrities, you know, A-listers into the country. You know, it it should be said that he played a major role in being able to get the world to come together for Haiti, He has that kind of power, and that's something that we can really benefit from. That's something we can benefit from. Wyclef cannot be controlled. Like how these other politicians, they're just so weak and they don't have a voice. And even if the U.S. were to say something, they don't have the political capital in order to be able to stand there on the pulpit and say no, I'm not gonna do it. No, this is what y'all trying to do. It ain't gonna go down like that. Wycliffe can do that. Wycliffe can do that. Now, those are some good things about Clef, and I think he has a very good heart. I think he has a very good heart. I don't think he has it. He has it in it to gain for himself. I think he could make it with his music. He know the country don't got much. I believe he's made more money than in his career than Haiti's made in a year. Haiti's revenue is at 325 per year. At least with Petrocaribe, it's like another 600 on top of that, making it $1 billion a year. But we ain't even in Petrocaribe right now. But when it comes to Wyclef, his faults are his actual knowledge of the situation in Haiti. It's his wokeness that must be brought into question. Is he woke? Because he still kowtows to the United Nations, and you know, even like novices, even like a child knows that the United Nations is canceled. You know what I'm saying? And they've been canceled like benevolent organization, and it's not. It needs help. It needs work. The idea was good, but um, as long as it's controlled to the degree that it's controlled by those five powers, I think the United Nations won't be able to live up to its potential. And now I'm not saying that those five powers should not have, you know, what they have, which is a veto power and stuff like that. But I'm saying at this point, the influence is a little bit ridiculous, and that's problematic. So, yeah. And then Wyclef's that not being woke part is a problem. And is he smart enough to get the right people around him? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think he's gonna be able to. I think he's going to get yes men around him. Yeah, I think he's gonna get yes men around him. He's gonna get a lot of people that admire him. He's gonna get a lot of blanc around him. Because he's gonna think that's what it is. Like he's not gonna trust his own people. Uh, because you could see what he did with his career. When you understand that he had signed Haitian Fresh, he had Mecca, Grimo, he had you know number of Haitian artists, that came to work with him and nothing ever worked out. He never really put his support behind him. He never got his production thing really popping. You see how things fell apart with Lauren and Praz. That gives pause. That makes you feel like, will he be able to get the right people around him that can work, and will he listen to them? So those are his problems. And I reached out to this brother. After this article that we're seeing right here from June 20th, that's about what, 2, 3 months ago? That's about 3 months ago. I reached out to the brother because I want to know for real what he's about. Because um, I would want to give him some real important advice, you know, and hopefully and then I would know if he's somebody I would wanna throw my support behind by seeing uh, if he's somebody that can listen to sound advice. But he hasn't even hollered back. I don't even think he controls those pages, so that's what it is. But nonetheless, I don't intend to provide full throated support until I have personally had a one on one with him. And you can call that arrogant if you want, but that's just how I feel about it. I see good things about him, but I also see a lot of flaws that I would like to, be put to rest. So that's the Wycliffe situation. And I really wanted to hear what other people thought about him, about his chances. I guess that's gonna have to come later on, the next big story. But yeah, I was interested in seeing the arguments for and against him. You know, I'm gonna save the story of It's 9:48. Okay, we're running out of time. So we can either get into Miss Haiti because I want to get off at 10, or we could get into the voodoo. I feel like I've spoken on voodoo quite a bit. Or, as a matter of fact, I do want to. I do want to see. Let me check out the page, man. I did want to see what these. Did want to take you guys through the page. Yep. Oh, everybody's jumping on this. Jovenel Moise resigning. Yeah, I did want to comment a little bit on some of the stuff on. Let me actually do that. Yeah, let me bring this over. Let's let me just give a few thoughts and go down these stories. I've already told you about, you know, and I don't care if you guys can see the stats of how these articles are doing on Haiti Sentinel. Um, I've already given you guys my thoughts about this. This other thing, this situation with the bribes in the Senate. Now, the people that brought the information forward, Senator Sorrell Jacint and Evalier Beauplan earlier today, have they not ever taken bribes? I think they've taken bribes as well. I do. So, but they should be appreciated. I do appreciate that they're deciding to, I guess, lead a change away from that at this point. You know, so and I'm gonna support that. Like anytime people, cause we're coming from a real bad situation in Haiti. Corruption is widespread. Like a young lady was telling me, "Oh, Yuri Latour, he's doing all this, but he's the most corrupt." He is. Yuri and Lambert, them two are number one and number two in corruption all time in Haiti. And you could put either one of them number one and number two. But Yuri is doing something that's very remarkable. He is giving us real insight to the level of corruption that's going on in this country. He is doing that now, and I'm gonna celebrate that because that's what we need right now, and we need to encourage people that might be involved in stuff to do those kind of moves and welcome them in, welcome the information. So when it comes to this, I'm happy the information's out, and it gives you nowhere to talk. Senate President Kantav, you like today, Kantav, he brought in a judge to come and look at all the damage that happened in the Senate when all the activists went in there and stuff like that. You can't come for anybody when you have this going on in the Senate. When you have the case the Onondier Lewis, he's running a money laundering and embezzlement ring, and you've not said much about that. When you have the vice case there, Garcia Delva, involved in kidnapping with Arnell Joseph, when you have these five senators here taking in 100K, and apparently you were trying to get Sorrell to take money too, you can't come for anybody, Senator Kontov, with that on you. You can't. You don't have the legitimacy to. And that's really what it's about right now. You just don't have the legit. It'd be nice if you did. Then you could probably talk to the. But first, you got to address what's going on in house, and then you can come for anybody else that you want. That's what you need to do. The next thing is this story: the public hospitals, they threaten to strike nationwide. And that's where the shame is. While we over here bribing lawmakers and giving them money to do stuff when they shouldn't because they're legislatures, so they shouldn't be handling money. We have workers in public institutions that not getting paid. The services to the community are not happening while this corruption is happening. So that's a shame. And that's gonna go down Monday. And man, I'm telling you, things are getting really bad. Things are always getting bad in Haiti, but I think right now we're gonna. It's looking like a perfect storm. You know, perfect storm. Next thing is the Haiti basketball. I like this. Years ago, I would have thought I could have played for them. Basketball is my first sport, but yeah, I mean, I want to see what they do. Um, I bet they gonna be hacking. Like, yo, if you ever played with some Zoes, man, I mean, some Zoes like the Just Comes, you go out to the basketball court. If you like me, grew up, I was born in Haiti, but I grew up in the U.S. for the most part. And then you ever play some Zoes that's just fresh out of Haiti, man, they're gonna hack your butt off. So that'll be funny if this be a team where everybody just fouling out left and right. But they got some very good players, some players that play in the U.S. And then there's other players. Like they didn't even look at homie that plays for the Sixers. Like he's the truth. Like he's like a Kawhi Leonard, Kawhi Leonard, especially if he gets his shot right, he's gonna be a problem. So Haiti basketball looking good to play on the international level. That's great. Looney Joseph, man, y'all ain't show her no love, man. Yo, she held it down. She held it down. I didn't listen to the full night of reports. I had a get to bed doctor's appointment, but she held it down. I've been listening to her for years now, actually. She does the Twin Martinal with Danelle Santon. Very brilliant. I've spoken about Danelle before, and I've said this is a younger person. And there aren't many people, let alone younger people, that I can actually, uh, just say that their insight, their skills of philosophy and understanding are I can commend them. Very rare. And so they got a good group over there, and she deserves this. They hooked her up. I didn't want to focus on her getting the money because they gave her some money, about a little $2,000 little bonus, and that's nice. But I don't want it to be looked at as they're paying for influence. It's a bonus for some work she did. It was a very dangerous situation that night. She was up all night, you know, keeping an eye on the country, man. That's a sentinel right there. The next issue, this stuff with Naomi, she just got a lot going on right now. She got a lot going on. The rapper that she's with, she need to drop that guy. Like, for real. Like, I mean, she gonna have to drop cuz. Like, I don't like him for it, and I think a lot of people were saying that, they don't see him for her. And this whole situation with her trainer, it's a real weird situation. She brought him on after she had a trainer that helped her win the what was it, Wimbledon. And then yeah, so it makes you feel like, and especially the way all the articles were being written, makes you think there was something extra going on between them two. So that's unfortunate. I hope it ain't messy like that. I'm not gonna put anything out, but a lot of people, they feeling that. Whoa, 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 whoa. What was this? That look like my logo. That is my logo. What the? Hold on, son. Let me take a look over here. Whoa, 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 bruh. Like, I appreciate the support, but man, you just can't let pay off on that. Yes, 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 but yeah, that's something that's worth addressing. I mean, because there's other pictures of it. Didn't have to use the actual logo, but it could be somebody. Okay, we're just gonna watch that. So that's unfortunate. And then this last thing, the Bahamas, they first said there was 2,500 missing. Now they dropped it to 1,300. They doing a lot of stuff. It's all fishy, man. It's late, folks. It is 10 o'clock. I'm about to sign out. Oh, snap. I didn't even check the chat. Nothing happened in the chat, so I ain't tripping. This was fun, actually. Um, wow, I might actually do this a little bit, maybe even tomorrow, because this wasn't bad at all. I'll have to hear how the sound comes out. Didn't get any instant feedback, but thank you, everybody, for. I know there's at least one or two people in here. Um, Thank you if you're listening to the uploaded version. Um, give your feedback. Definitely want to try to make this thing a little bit more. I'm gonna have to get on camera, so that's coming soon. Um, but yeah, that's about it. So I'm signing out. Thank you for listening. Oh, why is this muted? Okay, I think it's okay. Have a good night, and I love you all. Goodbye.